My child, my precious one, come near to me now. Listen to the voice that shaped the heavens, the voice that calls you by name. I see you, right where you are, standing at the edge of what feels too big, too hard, too far beyond your reach. I know the weight of the impossible pressing against your heart, the dreams that seem out of grasp, the mountains that won't move, the storms that won't quiet. And I'm here, your Father, your Creator, your unshakable strength, saying to you with all my love, I handle the impossible. Oh, my sweet child, you don't have to wrestle with what's beyond you. I've already overcome it, and I long to show you how. I've watched you face the giants in your life, those moments when the odds tower over you, when hope feels like a thread about to snap, when your strength falters under the strain. I've seen you look at the horizon and wonder, how can this be? How will I make it through? My beloved, I'm not distant in those moments. I'm right beside you, closer than your shadow, stronger than your fears. I am the God who does what cannot be done, who turns the unthinkable into reality, who holds the impossible in the palm of my hand. With man this is impossible, I said, but with God all things are possible. That's my promise to you, my child, and I never break my word. So let me wrap you in my assurance today. Let me lift your eyes from what overwhelms you to the one who overcomes all. I handle the impossible, not as a burden, but as my delight, because I love you, and I want you to see my power at work in your life. Stay with me, my dear one. Rest here in my presence. I have so much to tell you, so much to show you. Will you trust me with the impossible today? My beloved child, come closer now. Let me draw you into the quiet where my voice can reach the hidden places of your soul. I see you, my precious one, in ways you cannot fathom. I see beyond the surface of your days, beyond the brave face you wear, beyond the walls you've built to shield your heart. I see the unseen, the burdens you carry in silence, the fears that grip you in the dark, the impossibilities that loom like giants before you. And I'm here, your Father, your refuge, your mighty deliverer, whispering with all my love, I handle the impossible. Oh, my sweet child, what you cannot see, I see clearly, and what you cannot do, I've already conquered. I know the weight of what you face, my child, the things that feel too big, too broken, too far gone. I see the diagnosis that came like a thunderclap, stealing your peace and painting your future grey. I see the loss that hollowed you out, a voice stilled, a presence gone, a void that echoes with what once was. I see the door that stays shut, no matter how you pound, no matter how you plead, no matter how you dream, my beloved. I've watched you stand before these impossibilities, your heart pounding, your hands trembling, your spirit asking, where are you, God? Can this ever change? Oh, my love, I am right here, closer than your shadow, nearer than your tears, and I handle the impossible. You look at the mountain and see a wall too high to climb. I see a path I've carved through stone, a way I've prepared just for you. You look at the sea and see a flood too wide to cross. I see dry ground waiting beneath, a miracle ready to unfold. I parted the waters for Moses when the enemy roared at his heels, when freedom seemed a fleeting hope. I brought water from a rock when my people's throats burned in the desert, when survival seemed beyond reach. I opened blind eyes, healed broken bodies, turned a boy's small offering into a feast for thousands. What you call impossible, my child, I call a canvas, a place where my power paints glory, where my love writes redemption. I see the unseen battles too, the ones that rage within you, where no one else can follow. I know the guilt that chains you to yesterday, The words you can't take back, the choices you'd erase, the moments you think have pushed you beyond my reach. My child, I handle that impossible weight. I carried it on a cross, bore it in my body, buried it in a tomb so you wouldn't have to. I see the shame that shadows you, whispering that you're too flawed, too frail, too far gone. But oh my love, I handle that too. I wash it away with my mercy. I cover it with my grace. I call you mine with a voice that drowns out every lie. Let me handle it, my child. Let me set you free where you feel bound. I see the despair that creeps in, the hopelessness that settles like fog over your spirit. I know the nights you've lain awake, staring into a darkness that feels endless, wondering if the dawn will ever come. I've heard your silent cries, your whispered prayers, your questions that have no words. My precious one, I handle the impossible depths of your soul. I spoke light into the void at creation's dawn, and I speak it into your darkness now. I stood in a garden with my son as he faced the unthinkable, and I brought him through to resurrection. What feels like an end to you is a beginning to me, a beginning I've already seen, a victory I've already won. I see the unseen dreams you've tucked away, my child, the ones you've let fade because they seem too wild, too distant, too impossible. I planted those seeds in your heart, watered them with my purpose, destined them for my glory. I brought Abraham a son when his years were spent and his hope was thin. I gave Hannah a child when her womb was closed and her tears were many. I turned a fisherman's doubt into a rock that built my church. What you've buried I can raise, what you've lost I can restore. I handle the impossible, my love, not just to mend what's broken, but to dream what's yet to be. My child, I see the unseen, the battles, the barriers, the beauty, and I am not daunted. I am not distant. I am here, with eyes that pierce the shadows, with hands that shape the stars, with a heart that beats for you. I handle the impossible because I am the God of the impossible, the God who turns can'ts into cans, nevers into nows, deaths into life. Let me handle it, my beloved. Let me take what you cannot see, what you cannot solve, what you cannot bear, and watch how I make a way. I see you, my child, and I see it all, and I'm ready to handle every impossible thing for you. My sweet child, come stand with me now. Let me show you the boundless reach of my power, the strength that holds the heavens and lifts your heart. I've seen the unseen corners of your life, the impossible things that weigh you down. And I'm here, your Father, your mighty King, speaking with a voice that echoes through eternity. I handle the impossible. Oh, my beloved, my power knows no limits, no wall it cannot break, no chain it cannot snap, no darkness it cannot flood with light. I am ready to move in your life, my child, with a might that never falters, a love that never fades. Do you feel the vastness of who I am, my precious one? I am the God who spoke, and the void trembled as light burst forth, painting the black with dawn. I stretched out my hand, and the stars took their places, each one a spark of my will, burning bright across the ages. I whispered to the seas, and they found their boundaries, roaring yet bowing to my command. My power knows no limits, my child. It holds the cosmos in its grasp, yet it bends low to cradle you. I handle the impossible every moment, the rising sun, the turning tides, the breath in your lungs, and I handle it with ease, with joy, with a purpose that includes you. When you face what feels too big, too hard, too far beyond, remember this: I've handled greater impossibilities than these. I took a barren wilderness and brought water gushing from a rock, refreshing my people when their lips cracked with thirst. I stood with 3 faithful ones in a furnace, so fierce it devoured the guards, yet my presence kept them untouched, their robes unsinged, their faith unshaken. I turned a shepherd boy named David into a giant slayer with a single stone, toppling Goliath when armies quaked in fear. What you see as a mountain, my child, I see as dust I can scatter with a breath. I handle the impossible. It's what I do. It's who I am. My power knows no limits, my love, and it reaches into the smallest corners of your life. I fed 5,000 with a handful of loaves and fish, when hunger gnawed and logic said it couldn't be done. I touched a leper's sores and made his skin new, when the world had cast him out as untouchable. I spoke to a storm that raged against my disciples' boat, and the winds fell silent. The waves lay still, because even nature knows my voice. Do you think your impossible is too much for me? Oh, my child, I handle the impossible with a tenderness that mends, a strength that restores, a power that defies every boundary you've known. I see the impossibilities you face today, the ones that tower over you like walls too high to climb. Maybe it's a sickness that defies healing, a rift that defies mending, a dream that defies possibility. My child, my power knows no limits in these places. I raised Lazarus from a tomb sealed 4 days when his sisters wept and hope had fled. I opened Sarah's womb when her years were spent and laughter seemed a memory. I turned water into wine at a wedding, when joy hung by a thread and shame loomed near. What feels like a dead end to you is a doorway to me, a doorway I can fling wide with a single word. I handle the impossible, my love, and I will handle yours. My power isn't just for the grand moments, it's for the quiet ones too. I know the impossible weight of your thoughts, the doubts that circle like vultures, the worries that chain your peace, the weariness that saps your soul. I handle those, my child, with a might that shatters despair and a gentleness that soothes your spirit. I said, the same power that raised Christ from the dead lives in you, and I mean it. My limitless power flows through you, lifting you when you cannot rise, steadying you when you cannot stand. Let me handle it, my child. Let my strength be yours. Let my power break through where you feel weak. I handle the impossible because I am limitless, not bound by time, not stopped by space, not hindered by what eyes can see. I held back the sun for Joshua when the battle raged on, giving him victory when the day should have ended. I brought Jonah from the belly of a fish when the deep had swallowed him whole. I walked through locked doors to stand with my disciples, breathing peace where fear had reigned. My power knows no limits, my child, and it's at work in your life, right now, right here, right in the impossible you face. So lift your heart to me, my sweet one. Let me handle the impossible with a power that knows no end. I don't tire, I don't falter, I don't fail. I am your God, the one who moves mountains, who calms seas, who turns graves into gardens. My power is yours, my child, because you are mine. I handle the impossible, and I handle it for you. Trust me with it. Rest in it, marvel at it. I am limitless, and my love for you is too. My brave child, come rest with me now. Let me speak to the part of you that yearns to see, to know, to hold the reins of your life. I've shown you my limitless power. I've seen the unseen depths of your heart, and now I'm reaching out with a gentle, steady hand, saying, trust me with the outcome. Oh, my beloved, I handle the impossible, not just to move the mountains you see, but to shape the valleys you cannot, to weave a story far greater than you can imagine. I am your God, my child, and I long for you to let go of what's too big for you and place it into my care. I know it's hard, my sweet one. Hard to release what feels impossible into hands you cannot see. I see the way you grip it tight, the worry that gnaws at your peace, the fear that tomorrow won't bend to your will, the need to understand how it all ends. I've watched you pace before the unknown, your mind racing, your heart pleading, show me, fix this, make it clear. My child, I feel that ache with you. I hear that cry within you, and I'm here to whisper, trust me with the outcome. I handle the impossible best when you let me hold it, when you let me work it, when you let me surprise you with what only I can do. Look at what I've done before, my love. Look at the stories I've written through trust. I took Joseph, sold into slavery, cast into a pit, locked in a prison, and I handled the impossible outcome. Years of silence, years of waiting. Yet I lifted him to a palace, made him a savior to nations, turned betrayal into blessing. Trust me, my child. I saw the end when he could not, and I see yours now. I led my people from Egypt, through a wilderness that stretched long and dry, when freedom seemed a faded dream. I fed them, guided them, brought them to a land flowing with promise. Trust me with the outcome. I handled their impossible and I'll handle yours. I know the moments when trust feels like a leap, when the impossible looms so large it blocks the sun. Maybe it's a wound that won't heal, a dream that won't wake, a storm that won't still. My child, I handle the impossible not just to mend it, but to make it more than you could ask. I took a widow's last oil and flour when hunger stared her down, and I stretched it to fill jars, to feed her family, to defy starvation's grip. I stood with a mother whose son lay lifeless, and I breathed him back to her arms when death had won. I turned water into wine when a feast hung by a thread, weaving joy where shame had crept. Trust me with the outcome, my love. I see beyond the now, and I'm crafting something beautiful. Trust me, my child, because I handle the impossible with a purpose you can't yet see. I took a cross, the cruelest of ends, and made it the doorway to life eternal. I rolled away a stone when the world saw only a sealed tomb, and I brought my son through to glory. What looked like loss to everyone else was victory in my hands. Oh, my precious one, what feels like your defeat is my canvas. What seems like your end is my beginning. Let me handle it, my child. Let me take the ashes and paint them with beauty. Let me take the mourning and crown it with joy. Let me take the chaos and thread it with peace. I know you want to see it now, the resolution, the healing, the breakthrough. I see the way you strain to glimpse the shore, to chart the map, to hold the finish line in your hands. But trust me with the outcome, my child. I am the God who sees the end from the beginning, who holds time like a river in my palm, who knows every step before you take it. I brought Hagar a well in the desert when she sat alone, her sun fading, her hope gone. I saw her when she couldn't see me. I gave Ruth a redeemer when she walked as a stranger, her future uncertain, her heart tender. I handled her impossible when she trusted me. I'm doing the same for you, my love, right now. Even when you can't trace my hand, trust me with the outcome, my child, and let your soul find rest. I handle the impossible not just to fix what's broken, but to grow you through it, to deepen your roots, to widen your faith, to draw you closer to my heart. I am faithful, my beloved, faithful when the night is long, faithful when the silence is loud, faithful when the impossible stands tall. Let me handle it and watch how I turn the tide, how I shift the season, how I bring light where you least expect it. Trust me, my child, I've never failed and I never will. So release it to me now, my brave one. Lift your hands, open your heart, let it go. Trust me with the outcome. and feel my peace settle over you like a warm embrace. I handle the impossible, my child, and I handle it for you with a love that sees all, a power that does all, a promise that holds all. I am yours, and you are mine. Trust me, and together we'll walk into the impossible made possible. My cherished one, as we linger here, feel my presence surrounding you. I handle the impossible. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's how I love you. I am with you in every moment, holding what you cannot, doing what you cannot dream. You are mine, my child, and I will never leave you to face the impossible alone. Go now, my love, with my strength in your soul. Lift your eyes to me when the impossible looms. I'll handle it, as I always have, as I always will. The Lord bless you and keep you, I pray over you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and give you peace. My promise stands forever, my child. I handle the impossible and I handle it for you. Rest in that. Rise in that. Amen.